So guys, welcome back to the channel. And before I kick off today, just a big thank you to all the new subscribers that have subscribed to my channel since my last video. It's a big thank you to them, and it really helps out a lot because I do put this footage out to you guys to give you some kind of inspiration and to help you along with Photoshop in the easiest possible way for your photography and videos. Now, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed already, how's about clicking on that little bell so you get notified and subscribe so you don't miss out. Anyway, so I was walking along the canal the other day, taking my dog out for a little walk as usual, and I came across this kind of old style Chevy pickup. Now it was parked into this kind of old made up kind of shed thing, which looked super creepy and eerie from where I was on the other side of the canal, and it just looked like for a good opportunity to take some kind of like horror Halloween kind of movie still photo. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm actually going to take this photo here and I'm going to transform it into this photo. So I'm going to show you like a little step-by-step Photoshop tutorial on that and how to create it. So let's just jump right into it. So guys, as you can see, I've already loaded up this image into Photoshop. So what I'm going to do first, this is a raw image, so it's got a lot of detail. It was taken with the old trusted Nikon D7000 with the 18 to 300 millimeter lens. So I was really able to zoom in on it. So first of all, we're going to go into filter and camera raw filter. Now this will bring up all these other options that we can adjust, something you'd see in Lightroom, only I prefer to do it this way because I think it works a lot better and it's actually a lot easier. So first of all, what I do, now this is what I do for a lot of my images. I whack down the highlights and I whack up the shadows. Now as you can see, it's given it kind of like a little grading already. It's brought out a lot of detail here in the bonnet and up around the roof and in the background around here. But I just want to bring up that exposure just a little bit more. Now we're going to go down to the clarity slider. Now this is entirely up to you. The clarity will just, you know, it'll give it an extra bit of contrast and detail in it. And also I'm going to bring up the texture a little bit because there's lots of little rusty spots around here. And the dehaze, well, that's up to yourselves if you want to use that. I like to use it on some of the images that I edit, but yeah, it's entirely up to you. So now we're going to go down and we're going to like give this a little bit of a color grade. Now these greens are a bit too, you know, a bit too standy out for me, and they don't give that feel as a horror movie. So if you want to get that moody green tone in your greens that you see a lot of forest images that I do, and I use this technique all the time. So I whack up the greens. I use the hue slider and I whack up the greens to about there. Sometimes I put it the whole way up, but you can see it's giving this kind of vibrance now to it. But that's not the end. We go to saturation and we'll bring the greens back down. Now look at that. See the difference? See the change? It's already given that moody green tone. So I'm going to go and use my gradient tool, which is just up here, and we're going to shade that back in a bit. I'm going to drop that down, lower the exposure a tad, and do the same on the green, and we'll do the same over here because I want all this to be in darkness and I want to keep like the front of the Chevy nice and prominent. So this is a really easy and quick kind of edit for you guys to do. You can possibly even do this on the Photoshop app if you don't have it on your computer. So I'm going to click OK on that, and then that's going to preload it into here. So you'll go from this, just wait for it. And here we go to that. Now that is a big change, you can see already, but there's something really bugging me, and that's you gotta straighten this image up. You know, we gotta do something with it. So I'm going to go up here to the crop tool, and we're just gonna, you know, give that a bit of a twirl to straighten it up a little bit. I think that's good enough. Double click. Now it looks a hell of a lot better, doesn't it? So I said I wanted to push this out a bit more, make it more prominent. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to bring up my dodge. So let's make this little brush. I'll turn that off. There we go. I just want to make this here a little bit brighter. We're going to just paint it on, basically. Paint the highlight. Make that highlight. There we go. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to burn it. So we're just going to make the brush a little bit bigger, because then that smooths it out a bit. Now if you want to know, my exposure for this is 15%, so you don't want to whack it up too high, because then you know it's just gonna look stupid then, because you're gonna end up with a really dark black background, and that isn't gonna work. It's not gonna make anything stand out. So basically I'm just painting in the areas of it. So now that we've got our image basically done in editing, I'm going to add an Adjustment Lut onto it. So if you go up here to Adjustments and then down to the grid, so it brings up your Load 3D Luts. So we click on the drop down here, and here you can see already that Photoshop gives you a load of pre-Luts already loaded onto it. I always like to go for this Kodak 5218 Kodak one, because I think it gives that kind of old look style vibe. You can see now, you know, it really changed it dramatically. So I don't want it as just too much, but if you go to the opacity, make sure your layer is selected and just bring it down a little bit. Not too much, 80% is good. And I'm going to actually go back into my main photo, and I'm going to bring back the dodge tool and just paint back in the darkness of what I would like to be just a little bit more darker. And there you go. So there you go, folks. It's all done now, and that is my little horror look. So then you can just go and save that. So guys, you can see that it's pretty easy to achieve this effect. You know, it's I make these little edit videos, you know, short and sweet and easy for you guys to follow along with if you want to. You know, it's pretty like step by step, and this is all the photos that you just saw earlier were used using the exact same kind of technique. Just the sliders were just a little bit different here and there, and I use that technique basically, I would say 95% of the time for most landscape photos and things like this. So yeah, give it a go and see what you can do. So guys, again, if this little video has helped you out and given you some kind of inspiration, hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. So until then, see ya. Let's try this. Oh, didn't work.